Episode 5 Atonement with the Father. Mwindo journeyed back from the underworld, exiting from the Kokoka fern with his father and triumphantly arriving in Tubando. Reunited with his aunt Iangura, he recounted his adventures for her. Iangura sought a public apology from her brother, but first she made a special request of Mwindo. My son, shall we go on living always in this desolate village alone without other people? I, Ian Gura, want you first to save all the people who lived here in this village. Only when they have all been resuscitated shall I ask Shemwindo to confess how he acted towards you and the evil he perpetrated against you. You, my son, are the eternal savior of people. For 3 days, Mwindo resurrected those who had fallen in the battle for Tabando. He beat his conga over the bones of the dead, and miraculously they arose, resuming precisely the activity they had been engaged in at the time of their death. After the inhabitants of Tubando had been resurrected, Iangura asked Shemwindo to call together all the people, and those three radiant stars, Mwindo, Shemwindo, and Iangura, appeared to the pleasure of the assembled crowd. Turning to his father, Mwindo beckoned. Now, my father, it's your turn. Explain to the chiefs the reason why you have had a grudge against me. Tell the chiefs so they may understand. Sweat rose from Shemwindo's body. Shame welled up in his eyes. He uttered his confession in quivering tones, broken by a spitting cough. All you chiefs, Shemwindo stammered, I don't deny the evil that I have done against my son. Indeed, I passed a decree that I would kill all male children. I tried many times to kill this child, but each time, instead of harming him, I only made him stronger. I fled to the underworld thinking I would be safe, but my son set out in search of me. He came to take me away from the abyss of evil in which I was involved. I was at that time withered like dried bananas. And it is like that I arrived here in the village of Tabando. So may the male progeny be saved. My son has let me see the way in which the dark sky becomes daylight, and given me the joy of witnessing again the warmth of the people and of all the things here in Tabando. After that, Iangura spoke. You, Shemwindo, together with your counselors and nobles, acted badly. If I were a counselor from if it were a counselor from whom this plan of torment against Mwindo had emanated, then his throat would be cut here in the council. You discriminated against the children, saying that male children were bad and female children were good. You did not know what was in the womb of your preferred wife, what you were given by Shebarungu, but you saw it to be bad. Iangura turned to the counselors and nobles, concluding her remarks. Shemwindo has committed a heinous deed. If the people of Tabando had been exterminated, Shemwindo would have been guilty of exterminating them. Finally, Mwindo stood up and with great compassion said, I, Mwindo, man of many feats, the little one just born he walked, I am not holding a grudge against my father. May my father not be frightened, believing that I am still angry with him. No, I am not angry with my father. What my father did against me and what I did against my father, all that is already over. Now let us examine what is to come, the evil and the good. If either of us starts quarreling again, it is he who will be in the wrong, and all the elders here who will be the witness of it. Now, let us live in harmony in our country. Let us care for our people well. Full of shame and repentant, Shemwindo wished to cede his throne to his son. He voluntarily stripped himself of the trappings of kingship, giving them to Mwindo. Then he blessed Mwindo and left on a self-imposed exile to a mountain retreat. After his enthronement, Mwindo proclaimed that now he had become famous and he would never act again. He would never act like his father. Episode 6: A Final Journey Among the Gods. Many days after his ascension to the throne, Mwindo had a terrible craving to eat some wild pig meat, so he sent the forest people to hunt a fresh pig. Following the trail of a red-haired pig, they encountered Kiramu, the dragon, master of the deep forest. He appeared to them in horrific form, a huge animal with a black hide, 7 heads, 7 horns, 7 eyes, teeth like a dog, a huge belly, and the tail of an eagle. Kiramu devoured the forest people, whereupon it then fell to Mwindo to save Tabando from the beast's reign of terror. Mwindo fearlessly met the monster in battle. Then, just as Kiramu was about to swallow him whole, Mwindo unleashed his conga and slew the dragon instead. The people rejoiced at the sight of this plentiful supply of fresh meat, and were even more pleased when once the dragon was cut open, all those whom he had ever swallowed were released unharmed from his belly. But it so happened that Nakuba, the lightning hurler, had made a blood pact with Kiramu. When he inhaled the odor of his dead friend carried on the wind, tears came to his eyes. What shall I do with Mwindo? Nakuba said to himself. If I make him suffer up here among the gods, then perhaps he will learn, and I can return him to earth to his village again. He mused, if Mwindo had known I had exchanged blood with Kiramu, then he would not have killed my friend. If he had known, yet still killed Kiramu, I would kill Mwindo right here and now without ever returning him to his country. But he is safe because he did not know that the dragon was my friend. Nakuba descended from Mwindo and said, I have come to take you, my friend. I want to teach you because I am very displeased with you since you dared kill Dragon, who was my friend. You must know this time that you have done wrong. Still, Mwindo showed no deference or fear toward Nakuba, though all the people of Tabando were stricken with terror, believing their chief was lost forever. Mwindo sang taunts of his greatness to Nakuba, while the pair climbed slowly into the air. I have rescued you many times from many dangers, Nakuba reminded Mwindo. Still you sing so arrogantly. Do you think now that you are equal to me? Once in the celestial realm, Mwindo experienced cold weather and icy winds, and there was no house. They lived as nomads, never settling in one spot. Nakuba seized Mwindo. He climbed with him up to Mabura, the rain. When Rain saw Mwindo, he told him, You, Mwindo, you never accept being criticized. The news about your toughness, your heroism, we surely have heard the news, but here there is no room for your heroism. Rain fell upon Mwindo 7 and 7 times more. He had hail fall upon him, and he soaked him thoroughly. Mwindo thought to himself, This time I am in trouble in a big way. Nakuba then lifted Mwindo up again, and he had him scramble across to Mweri, the moon's domain. When Moon saw Mwindo, he pointed at him. The news has been given us of your pride, but here in the sky there is no room for your pride. Then Moon burned Mwindo's hair. Nakuba lifted Mwindo again. He went with him to the domain of Kensei, the sun. When Sun saw Mwindo, he burned him with his heat. Mwindo lacked all means of defense against Sun. His throat became dry. Thirst strangled him. He asked for water. The gods said to him, No, here there is no water for you. Now we advise you to grit your teeth and put your heart on your knee. After Sun made Mwindo sustain these pains, Nakuba lifted Mwindo up and brought him to the domain of Kubi Kubi, the star. When Star saw him, he too echoed the words of the other gods. The news comes that you are a great hero, but here there is no room for your heroism. Star ordered the rain and sun and moon to come, and all of the assembled gods, Nakuba, Mabura, Mweri, Kensei, Kubi Kubi, delivered Mwindo a final message in unison. We have respect for you, but just that much. Otherwise you would vanish right here. You, Mwindo, you are ordered to go back. Never a day should you kill an animal in the forest or of the village, or even an insect like a centipede or a water spider. If one day we learn that you have begun killing such animals, you will die and your people will never see you again. They pulled his ears 7 times, and 7 more, saying, Understand? And Mwindo said, Yes, I understand. They also admonished him, Nakuba will oversee your behavior and comportment. If you stray from our commands, Nakuba will report to us, and that day he will seize you instantly without even a moment to say farewell to your people. Finally, after 1 year of wandering in the abode of the sky, Mwindo was allowed to return home. He assembled all his people and told him of his ordeal. I, Mwindo, the little one just born he walked, performer of many wonderful things, I tell you the news from where I have visited in the heavens. When I arrived in the sky, I met with rain and moon and sun and star and lightning. These five gods forbade me to kill animals of the forest and of the village, saying that the day I would dare to touch a living thing in order to kill it, that day my life fire would be extinguished. Then Nakuba said he would come to take me without me saying farewell to my people, and my hope of return would be lost forever. He also told them, I have seen in the sky things I cannot divulge. Mwindo then passed good laws for his people, saying, May you grow many foods and many crops. May you live in good houses in a beautiful village. Don't quarrel with one another. Don't pursue another's spouse. Don't mock the invalid passing in the village. Accept the chief. Fear him. May he also fear you. May you agree with one another, harboring no enmity nor too much hate. May you bring forth tall and short children. In doing so, you will bring them forth for the chief. Mwindo's fame grew and stretched widely. It spread to other countries from which people came to pay their allegiance to him. And among children, none was thought bad, whether males or females, whether able or disabled. They were not rejected. For Mwindo realized there was nothing bad in what God has given to mankind.